Hey everybody. I want to welcome those that are here so far. We got Reaper, we got Carla Murray. Just a second. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of an echo that I had to fix. But welcome everybody who's here. Spirit Wolf, Carla Marie, or King Leo. Lady Dragon's Blood, Lavender Mexican,
Excuse me.
Gary UK, Campbell's is here, and Simon's here. Welcome everybody. This is an open panel, open discussion, as long as you keep it civil. Link is pinned at the top. Anybody's welcome to join. Today, I'm going to be featuring works by b1nary Tools, and he's up on panel with me. Go ahead.
Morning, everyone.
Oh. Go ahead.
I was just saying good morning.
Want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everybody. I think most of you know who I am. I'm your favorite crayon-eating Marine, b1nary.
All right. We got some of his videos we will be showing a little bit later. Hopefully, they do have copyrighted music in a couple of them. Hopefully it doesn't create problems, but if so, we'll try and work around them. Hey, Dutch.
There shouldn't be.
Well, you had sound of silence in there. Sorry, my dogs are going. Are y'all able to hear my dog? Noise cancellation working?
No, I was good.
Neighbors' dogs come over for a visit sometimes, and my dogs like to have conversations with them. Just a second, let me.
Yeah, my little Maisie likes to have conversations with everything, whether they like it or not. She's a part terrier and part weenie dog, and she likes to think she's a mastiff until you prove her otherwise.
Yeah, I've got. I call him my Mexican Shepherd. He's a German Shepherd Chihuahua mix.
Nice.
Definitely suffers from little dog syndrome.
Yeah.
But had some news come through the community over the past few days. Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Arrested and charged. I haven't watched the video of his arrest yet, but I'm looking forward to getting that in this afternoon.
Yeah, it was glorious. He was acting so pompous during almost the entire interview. I mean, not interview, but video, excuse me.
Yeah. I think him getting arrested is majorly awesome.
Yeah, he got picked up on a warrant, the dumbass.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and Maddie got what she had coming to her, too.
Oh, what happened to her?
She got busted 2 or 3 days back.
Huh. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, the People's Patriot showed it, I believe. People's Patriot or Gary Snow. He does a great
Gary.
job.
Yep.
Yeah, auditing the auditors.
Yes, he does.
It's very entertaining. If one of my mods can drop his link, I highly suggest if you haven't watched his stuff to do so.
Absolutely. Subbing to him alone, watching him just tear into Andrew Seats is worth it.
Oh, yeah. And he's not afraid to dish out what they've been dishing out to people all along. And
oh, absolutely not.
And oh, do they just hate that? All of a sudden, their activity when played on them becomes stalking or something else wrong.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know if he was able to go after that other guy who burned him with a cigarette?
I think he was pressing charges. I don't. I haven't seen the follow up to be sure what's all gone on with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw that video and that was deliberate.
Yeah, definitely. If might have been accidental the first time because I really didn't. You don't really get to see the contact on the camera.
Yeah, it happened just below the camera.
Yep, but the second round was definitely done on purpose.
Yeah.
I'd love to reach out to him and invite him on to have him as the guest panelist for one of the shows.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, had some more folks join in. Odin,
he's had
Gary
my
101.
respect ever since he laid into Wright's Crispy.
Yeah. Oh, I think that I've watched a few of his before then, and I liked them, but I'm now with Wright's Crispy. I definitely made sure that I was subscribed and had the notified bell rung.
Right.
But for those joining in, since I did the introductions, welcome everybody. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Got the guest binary tools on with us. It is an open panel, open discussion. Anybody's free to come up. The link is pinned at the top. Hey, Steve Penda. Yeah. Familiar TV's been. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just remembered. I think you are right about maybe the music. Let me look. There is in one of my tribute videos. There is some music that I put in the background with Ronald Reagan's speech. And there was music attached to it, and I don't know if it was copyrighted or not.
Well,
most of it's just a claim, but I never got a strike for it.
Yeah. Well, during the live broadcast, I don't think they strike you right off the bat. I think they at worst they shut down your stream, and usually it comes back up in a few minutes.
Oh man.
I'm going to use the video I'm most worried about as one of the last videos, just in case.
All right, let me look. I wish they had a better way of browsing through your content.
Yeah.
To get a lot of videos up there, it's a lot harder to.
YouTube doesn't like to make anything simple on the organization, especially your subs.
Right?
Looking through who you're subscribed to, trying to find somebody. They don't put it in any order whatsoever, and then it changes for God knows what reasons. Every time you find somebody.
And then plus there's you have it within your settings to be anonymous,
Mhm.
so you can't look at every single one of your subs, and they don't let you kick any subs either if you want to.
Well, I'm talking about the channels you're subscribed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, looking through your subs that are sub to you, that's one thing. But when you're trying to find a channel that you're subscribed to, yeah, it can be a pain.
Right. Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because I had a couple of trolls that sub to me to keep track of me, and
Yeah.
since they are hidden, I there's nothing I can do about it. I can block them from my channel, but that's it.
Yeah.
They can
I've
still
got
follow me around on sock accounts.
I got a few trolls, and some of them are blocked to where they can't speak in chat. But as long as they behave themselves in chat, anybody's welcome to participate. Anybody's
Right.
welcome to come up as long as they follow the follow the guidelines of civil discussion and don't break TOS. And everybody's more than welcome to come up and have a voice.
Right. Okay. I should be almost there. They don't let me scroll through separately either within my playlist.
Yeah. And remembering what your titled things can be a son of a gun too.
Right. Okay, here we go. So, our Fighting Heroes number 100, there was a copyright claim against um, so if you want to mute during the intro uh, by Unleashed Power by Video Copilot, that's what got claimed on that video.
Okay.
And let me scroll down to Our Fighting Heroes number 1. Oh, there's the video I did for the Jarheads. Cool. I haven't watched that in a long time. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about this.
I'm gonna go ahead and play your animation loop that I have queued up
Oh, okay.
while you're looking.
Just a little history on that one. Why I included it is that was my very first attempt at bokeh style of animation. And I was really pleased with myself and how well it turned out.
And there is no sound with this one, but
Oh,
enjoy the visual. It's short.
if you can believe it or not, there are 12 different elements in that one shot alone.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into figuring out how to get any of these set up yet, but it's something I look forward to tackling in the future. What?
Okay, there they are. Going through all my Jerry Anderson videos right now. Okay, here we go. Our Fighting Heroes #1. There's no claim on it. There is a claim on Heroes Among Us tribute #100 for the music Officer Down and the Sound of Silence.
Yeah, I was pretty sure Sound of Silence was gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it too once I put it up there when I was creating it. And that was fine with me.
And Officer Down, that's the music you had in the intro, right?
Um,
Oh wait, oh no.
I don't think so. I think it was part of the video that I had downloaded.
After this is over with, I'm gonna go back and put all these links in the description. That way, folks can go back and see them on your, view them on your page with the music and get the full enjoyment out of it.
Oh, okay.
The Officer Down and the Sound of Silence were both added a lot of power to the video you had going on. So
Yeah. And I was quite amazed on how many creators of the videos were open to the idea of putting tributes out there.
yeah, you'd be amazed at how many artists would love to have their music added to some of these tributes without causing flag problems and all. But it's not up to them; it's up to their record labels.
Right. Okay, here we go. Heroes Among Us #1, none at all. I apologize for that. I didn't even think about that when I was looking through those videos last night.
Yeah, I didn't review them until this morning when I got up and.
If you want, you can play something else.
Oh, that's I'm gonna play them and mute the I'll mute the audio. But like I said, I'll put the links to the videos themselves in the description. And that way folks can go and watch the originals how with the music and everything.
Okay.
But what got you into creating content like this?
Oh gosh. Actually through gaming. I started working on modding for certain games. Star Wars, Empire at War. And I was asked to create background textures because I had had a couple of Photoshop pictures that I had made. And there was this person who emailed me, said, hey, this could be a really nice texture for this mod that I'm working on. And he started describing to me what they were doing. And it was for a mod called Thrawn's Revenge. And they wanted me to see what I could come up with some enhanced background space pictures for the space battles.
Oh, okay.
And I had dabbled a little bit in making my own GIFs. And back then that they were a lot simpler than they are now. And I just kind of progressed from there. I started getting into the 3D texturing through working on that mod.
All right. But I enjoy going through a lot of your animation loops are nice to go through, and
Oh, thanks, man.
they're they're, they're calming. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
they're calming for me too. I discovered really quickly um, that it made me focus on something, and because I suffer from combat post traumatic stress disorder from my time in the military in Iraq, and it calms me down when I have something to focus on, and it's
I
fun for
mean,
me.
um, so you were in the Marines, what, 6 years?
I was, yes.
What'd you do with the Marines?
When I got out, I was attached to recon. I was with the first EMU. When we were sent, God, I was sent everywhere. After Camp Pendleton, I was sent to Spain. From there, I was sent to Japan. Back from Japan, back to Spain, then to Germany. I started training in the technical aspects of electronics, and that's how I got my start into computers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And when we congregated together in Saudi Arabia and made our way in preparation for Desert Shield,
Mm-hmm.
after the after after Kuwait, I was sent. Oh, it was for about a month or two. They temporarily attached me to the 15th and into Somalia, and then I went back to Iraq. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail in what we did, but we painted targets for the bombs, for the bombing raids behind enemy lines.
Don't any of the questions. Feel free to decline to answer. I'm not going to press you on it.
No, that's okay.
There's things about my time in the military I won't openly discuss either.
Right.
But
Yet, and only people like you can understand why.
yeah, it's not that we trying to hide things in our past. It's
Exactly.
pick it's picking at wounds and opening them back up and then re-experiencing the pain.
Exactly. Especially when you've lost fellow unit members. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video.
No, well, you said there was no problem with the Heroes #1, right?
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and play that one now.
All righty. Sounds good.
And just a reminder to the folks, well, welcome to anybody who's joined in. This is my last time. I said welcome, everybody. And it is an open panel, open discussion. So the link is posted at the top. Feel free to join up here. And get this sharing. Good.
Officer Steve Dunham has a mission that goes beyond his badge.
I would like to go home at the end of the day feeling like they've done something positive and had some kind of positive impact.
So on Sunday afternoon, when he got a report about a little boy wandering downtown Franklin alone, he didn't hesitate to go above the call of duty.
It broke my heart.
The 7-year-old was peddling his toy in front of a drugstore to get money to eat.
He told me that he was trying to sell a stuffed animal to get money for food because he hadn't eaten in several days.
Officer Dunham took the child to
Wow.
something to eat, then brought him back to the Franklin Police Department.
I said a little prayer and ate dinner together.
The chief says his guy gave the boy comfort and safety he didn't have at home.
They treated them like their own kids. And that's exactly what law enforcement does in situations like this, is how would we want someone to treat our kids?
Turns out police say the child and his 4 brothers lived in squalor.
Cockroaches, urine, cat urine, human urine.
Investigators have now charged the parents, Tammy and Michael Bethel, with 10 counts of child endangering.
Hopefully these officers' actions change these kids' lives and maybe change the lives of the parents to become better parents.
Of course, Officer Dunham doesn't look at it as anything but just doing his job. And he made a new friend in the process.
I came back to check on him, and he was hiding, and he jumped out and to scare me when I came back in the building. So he did. He got me pretty good.
This one had a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to focus on the ones that were heartwarming.
Yeah.
Because you don't find too many of those type of videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You mostly see hate.
Yeah. Media, but whether it be social media or mass media, they're quick to put out the stories of cops doing things wrong, but they don't
Exactly.
they don't put any or hardly any focus on when cops are going out of their way to help people.
Yet they don't see the above and beyond aspect of it, and that they're just people too.
Welcome, Wonder Woman. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. Give me 1 second. I'm just adjusting my move.
Hi, Wonder Woman.
Hit the enter button too fast. When I saw you up here, b1nary, I had to come.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. Can you guys hear me fine?
You're a little bit low, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can adjust my mic a little.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I definitely had a very nice surprise when I saw you coming up here. And 1 second, got to get rid of a cat. Oh, he's too affectionate. When I start talking to other people, he's all over me.
Yeah, they get jealous.
Exactly. Yep.
So I thank you so much for all those wonderful videos that you do with the tutorials. I plan on rewatching them. Did want to ask you a curious question, b1nary.
Yeah.
Do you use a pen and tablet at all?
I do not.
Because I have one, and I'm struggling to set it up. So I figured I would ask.
I do not know anything about them.
Yeah,
I've never
are
had
kind
one.
of interesting. I got it several years ago, and I haven't used it till this day. Good intentions.
The only person I know that is using one of those, I believe he's using one of those, is Shiva.
Ah, okay. Haven't met that person yet on here.
Hi, Archangel. Semper Fi, brother.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, Shiva. His channel is the Church of Four. It's a drama channel, but I think his email is on there.
Because I'm going to be researching that because I know that pen and tablet is definitely useful. I even have one of those Apple pencils for my iPad.
Yeah, I use the Apple Pencil for my iPad, which I like, and I'm really considering one of my next upgrades for computer is to get the pen and tablet for working some animation aspects I want to get into.
Have you upgraded to 15 yet, Hank?
Windows 15?
No, iOS 15.
Oh, no.
I did.
Um,
It's interesting.
for the tablet, I'm not sure what upgrade I'm on with that. The functions I was using it for, I'm basically right now it's just used as an alternate device when I'm watching something with the computer to be able to check emails and stuff. And
Hey,
Yeah, that's kind of what
Archangel.
I do.
Hey, Archangel, I wouldn't doubt it. If we haven't personally met, we probably choked on the same goddamn sand.
I'm always happy to hear when we have people in our community that have served. And I want to say thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
My father was in at the end of just after or at the end of World War II. He was a corpsman on in the Navy on a ship called the U.S. Is it U.S. or USS? For ships.
USS.
Okay.
USS.
Consolation, not the Constellation, the Consolation, which was a hospital ship.
Yep, it was. I think the Constellation is still in
Excuse
service,
me.
if I'm not mistaken. Or they've renamed another hospital ship the same thing.
There have been several incarnations because I've done some research, and I even at one point found the roster with his name on it.
Yeah, the Navy's good at keeping records of their ships and crewmen.
Yeah, because I'm going to do a lot more research. I got some information from Schrodinger on how to do the research for the military records because my uncle, who is long gone, served in the army during the Korean War, and his grandkids would love to know information all about his military history. So I'm going to surprise them with some information, and still waiting on my disability so I can convert some films that I have into digital because we have home movies on silent film stock.
Well, if you're having difficulties and you need help, a couple of good resources that will at least point you in the right directions and help you with your research. Don Shipley with Phony Seals.
What was the name of the channel?
It's I think the name of the channel is Seal Experience, but his name is, if you just Google if you just put in if you Google Don Shipley Phony Seals, you'll get his channel.
Okay. Is that Shiply or Ley?
Ley, I believe.
Okay.
Hi, Sam. I am.
And also very helpful with helping with military record searches. From what I've seen, is Master Sergeant Retired.
Okay.
That's the name of his channel.
Oh, yes. I'm subscribed to him.
Because
Yeah.
I don't have children myself, never wanted them. And I want to leave a legacy for the other side of the family that can continue onward, through multiple generations. And I'm working also with, to flesh out more of the family tree on Ancestry.
Right.
Right. But both of those channels, their main focus is with the channels is busting the stolen valors with their military research, but they do lend assistance for people just trying to find out about family members' service.
That will definitely be helpful.
Yeah, they definitely got the hookup.
Yeah, well, in looking up the records to bust the phonies, they know the ins and outs of the system and have contacts for other purposes also.
Yep.
Connections are very important. Very important.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So I'm getting pretty close to being ready to get my ducks in a row for a couple of channels. I just have to finish a few things here, and then I'm going to be pushing forward with all earnestness. I'm no longer going to wait to try to get a new laptop because the government takes forever to get you your money, and I'm just going to. I figure if people can do things on cell phones and tablets, then a 10-year-old laptop that's been upgraded all the way should be able to handle something.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and see what I can come up with, because creativity is not my forte.
Well, so the last time I worked with you on that a couple of months ago, you still haven't received that money that you were due for your new laptop yet?
No. I actually spoke
Oh,
with my
wow.
local office of Social Security the other day, and I found out. First off, they were telling me that this payment was sent out but rejected because it was too small. What's that supposed to mean?
What?
Yeah. They use some lame excuse about, oh, well, they might have messed up with taking money out for attorneys. They hold back for them and blah, blah, blah. I said, I had a pro bono attorney. There's no money to be taken out. And they kept giving me a runaround. And I finally did get my local office on the phone because for a long time it was... I would call, I would get into the hold queue, and it would keep bouncing me to extensions that would never answer.
Right.
But I did finally speak with a person, and they saw that the payment has already passed one particular stage and just needs signature from the department that issues the funds. So I should be, and that was done recently within the past couple of days.
Yeah. With my dealings with Social Security, they withdrew the standard fee for the attorneys from my settlement check, but my my attorney was doing the work pro bono, so
Yeah, I got lucky.
It took about 2 months, but then I received a separate payment for it was an additional payment to my monthly check.
You see, I'm not on permanent. I'm just getting a 2-year lump sum.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with them not putting me on permanent because in the time that I was really truly qualified, I had been in treatment and therapy for my issues, and even I'll say I've made marked improvement. So I have no argument.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Glad your health is better.
Yeah, it's my physical health. I still have my back and everything, but what was screwing with me was I lost 4 people within 3 months in 2018, plus my home, a car, and I also lost my job. And that'll put anybody into a corner not wanting to talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that'll send anybody on a trip to the farm. Absolutely.
So
I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you. A part of it was sadly, I found out my dad had died in 2013 and nobody told me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was estranged because I have a brother that was abusive to me. So
Yeah. Let me just break in for just a second.
Mhm.
Hey, D-Jen, how you doing? And
Hi, DJ.
Dutch,
Hi, Jen. Welcome back. When are you
Dutch
seeing
just
new videos?
Dutch just reminded me, Rogue Nightmare, who's um
Oh, I
some of
love
you may
her.
know. Yeah, she's been having a lot of medical issues.
Oh no.
She's down again. Um,
Oh boy.
she's the woman's tough as nails, but so when she's down and out from being on the internet, I worry. So
Oh
for those
man. Are
for
you
those of
in
you
contact with her?
through DMs,
Well, can you give her my best wishes, please?
Mine too.
will do. But
Thank you.
if folks
She's
can,
one of my biggest supporters from the start.
yeah, she really your animation loops are a big portion of her therapies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. I think you already see that I check out your animation loops.
Oh yeah, you and I have had conversations about it.
Yeah, my favorite of your animation loops are usually the kaleidoscope effect animations, but they're all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I love making those. I love messing with the settings to find what I can do next. And
I like it.
that's
Art is
where a lot of my
inspirational.
animations come from too, is just messing with the settings to see what they do. Some of them are happy mistakes, you know?
If you can just remember what mistakes you made to get them right.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'll go back and try to recreate it and I'd be like, what did I do here?
Hmm. Uh, I've done that with the VSDC, which I'm using thanks to your tutorials. But some of the stuff I'll do things with a happy mistake and then go back and try and figure out what I did with that mistake, and
Right.
it can be a booger to figure out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had an aunt. She was one of the ones I lost that year. Uh, she was into creativity like you wouldn't believe, and she was
Hmm.
throwing clay on a wheel, and she did a very beautiful vase. And then at the end, she took her finger and she just pulled down on one side. And her sister asked her, "What did you do that for? The vase was perfect." And she says, "But art's not supposed to be perfect." I thought that was very deep.
It is. It's all how you perceive it to be.
Absolutely. Art is
Well,
in
it's
the
not.
eye of the creator.
Yeah.
Well, a
And
lot
I
of
absolutely love the comments on my animation loops and how people see something different to them. I think that's
Mhm.
absolutely awesome and beautiful.
Welcome, Grampy Lobster.
Hi, Grampy Lobster.
Oh, I meant to mention. Hank, do you mind if I plug something here?
Go for it.
Okay, I have a Discord server, and I created a channel, or as I call them, a room that's called Library of Themyscira, and Themyscira is the newfangled name that's been around for a lot of years for Wonder Woman's Paradise Island.
Okay.
They had to make it Greek. Go
Uh
figure.
huh.
So anyway, I created a library on there, and the only thing that's on that one channel besides chat is a link to. I couldn't upload the documents onto the actual channel
Uh huh.
on Discord because it was too much, and you can't organize it properly. So I have a link on there to where I have the documents uploaded onto one of my Google Drives. And
Okay.
I'd like to invite everybody to poke around on there, take a look, read. You can download what you want, print what you want. read it online. It's all for everybody to share. I also have a folder on there. If anybody would like to contribute to the library, if you throw it into, you'll see a folder. I think it's new uploads or something.
All right.
You'll get the gist when you see the folder. And if anybody would like to contribute some of what they have in the way of research that they've done to share with the community, that's the exact purpose of this library.
Cool. Well,
So-
if you put your link to the Discord and in the private chat, I'll put it in regular chat for folks, and also add it to the description after we're done.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very detailed.
I
In my workings with you, Wonder Woman, I found that you are very detail oriented and you really do your research well.
Oh, I love researching. In fact, if anybody needs help researching, I'd love to help, because researching and as well as fixing computer problems, two of my favorite things to do.
It shows.
Let's see.
Oh, thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate that.
And I used to be an administrative assistant before I went technical. So I had to learn very early on, before there was an internet, how to set up paper files. So I am
Right.
so organized.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You definitely are.
Okay, just pop that link there, Hank, on the private chat.
Yeah, got it. I'm working on it now.
I mean, I got things up there like background reports, court case files, articles, garbage documents from the morons. You name it, I've got it up there. I have some videos. I'm actually looking to compile a bunch of stuff on the fall of the morons, as I call them, and I didn't name their folder on my library. I didn't name it Rise of the Moors. I called it Fall of the Morons, actually. But if anybody can help me with getting a list of the court documents for everything that's involved with not only their criminal case, but the garbage they've been filing, I'd like to be able to compile that information to post up there. I just don't know the case numbers, and I want to especially compile the dismissals that they've gotten on their garbage lawsuits.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd love to see as follow up on some of these alleged lawsuit victories.
Well, that's going to be the target of my. I'm working on I have the concept for 3 channels. If I can get over my fear of creativity.
Well, also the government is being really slow about records requests. I'm still waiting on my records request for Jamal, because I did a records request again because a friend of mine who had his records couldn't find them within his archive, so I had to request on my own, and that was over 3 months ago, and I'm still my request hasn't even been processed yet, because I've been hearing a conflicting story about his military background.
Now, where did you place that request, Binary?
Hold on, let me look it up. I forget what the government site is called. Go into my email.
Yeah, the site for the military records, they're backlogged. It's over a year now, from what I understand. COVID.
Wow.
COVID. They were backed up before, but COVID just made it 10 times as bad.
It's
you farm it out to India.
It's Here, let me just put it in the private chat.
Okay, cool.
That would be easier. I'll also post it out on the public chat too.
Have either of
If
you
anybody
guys
wants
done
to check it out.
FOIAs?
I do think you got a wrench, right?
Let me check.
If not, just say something in chat and you'll get
Yes,
one.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, great. Can I borrow it to fix the kitchen sink?
What's that?
Can I borrow the wrench to fix the kitchen sink?
Sure.
Have either of you done FOIAs before?
Yes.
Yes.
I've never done one. So I'm looking to understand what they are, who they can be submitted to, and who they cannot be submitted to, and what kind of records can be requested.
Right. It varies from state to state, agency to agency, what type of information you're wanting and who to go to for it. A lot of times Google will help you zoom in on that. But,
Does anybody know of channels that discuss
prefer-
FOIAs?
I do not.
I bet if you use the phrase YouTube research in the YouTube search box, I bet you'd come up with some. You might have to weed through the BS channels, but
Yeah, I think I never thought about looking that up on YouTube until this very moment, and I don't know why. Maybe I didn't have my coffee that day. But
Yeah.
what I'm looking to do for one of my channels is amass all of these kind of court documents, and I want to humiliate the crap out of these guys by showing for every one of them, be it a frauditor, a moron, a sovtard, whatever, for every one of these guys that claim they've filed these, really gazillion-dollar lawsuits, I want to expose that, yeah, you filed it, but it failed, dude, because it's garbage.
Yeah. Or when they get a settlement and they start doing their victory laps.
Yeah, exactly.
Be
That
able
too.
to point out that was just go away.
The link
fool
is
money.
broken. All right, hold on.
Yeah, I'm getting broken too.
What the heck? That's exactly the way it is in my email. All right, let me figure out what's going on with that.
You might have inserted a space there. Because I see a space, VETREC, and then a space archives.gov.
All right, hold on.
And that space is probably supposed to be a backslash or no space.
No, I think it was supposed to be maybe a period, a dash, or not supposed to be a space.
Oh, okay. I spelled it wrong.
Oops.
All right, I'm going to repost. Bad. Sorry, folks.
Hey, life happens. I also am trying to do research. I want to debunk the crap out of Timothy Drew as best as possible. I want to, not so noble Drew Ali.
Oh, okay.
You see, with me, I refuse to buy into their garbage names, and I will only call them their legal names.
Oh, I understand. It's just there's so many of the Moorish out there making shitty claims. It's hard to keep them all separate.
That's why on my library, I put their real names, like Devin, I put his real name. Pauline, I put her real name as her folder. and I just will not list them by those garbage names. It's
Oh,
against my religion.
if I get around to doing any videos on the Moors, I'm gonna use my pup's avatar, adding a fez to it, and using the screen name of Doggone El Bay.
Oh, that's cute. By the way, did you guys know you can get custom made fezzes on Etsy?
Yep.
I'm
And
planning eventually on getting one that says Empress Goddess of Truth.
well,
Cool.
I'm a cheap butt. So for my smaller dog, I got a red Solo cup, shot cup, um, and
And
then
that's
I
what
ordered.
I did. I have tassels I'm going to put on it.
Uh-huh. And then with the red Solo cups, you can take a paint pen and write.
Yeah, because one of my cats is Diana Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And of all things, she's a black cat. So, I'm going to do that to her if she won't scratch my eyes out for doing it.
Hey, Unclean Hands, how you doing?
Hi, Unclean Hands.
Yeah, but I definitely want to do everything I can to dig up as much information on Timothy Drew and see if I can lean heavily on exposing that he made all of this crap up because he cracked up, point blank.
Um, have you looked at? I haven't. I know Virgo set up
Excuse
a
me.
Discord that's.
Yeah, I
Um,
requested. I haven't heard back from my request to join that, so I'll hit her up again
all right.
because I did. I originally thought she was pointing everybody toward the TV guide type of channel for the Watchdogs,
Uh-huh.
but I learned that she had done her own, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to expose the fact that they're following some guy that cracked up because he was abused. And because if I put that on there, I probably expect that I'll need to run for the Greek islands.
It would be kind of interesting to get the backstories on what drove some of these fools to become Moorish or Sovsit or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I know that it will be also attacking the supposed legitimate temple, but there ain't nothing legitimate about their beliefs. It's all crackers. I mean, they're
Well,
calling themselves white now.
well,
Right.
I don't have a problem with the temple itself having their beliefs because they're not going.
They're not scamming.
Yeah, they're not scamming, and we're entitled to our beliefs. If you want to believe in uh, the the creation was made by a spaghetti alien, uh, go for it.
Yeah, but
But
you see, they'll be going down. If I am able to do the exposure of Timothy Drew like I'd like to, I'm not saying that I'll be successful, but I'd like
Hi,
to,
Happy Hippie.
then it'll take out their stuff too because it'll prove that this Moorish designation of being
kind of happy.
Aboriginal is bullshit.
Right.
And I don't care if it takes them down too. Their beliefs are garbage, and I don't care.
Well, just as long as they keep to themselves and don't do any
I
harm to
mean,
anybody else,
believe
I
in the
understand
religion
that
of
to a
Islam. I
point,
don't
just
care.
like with, right. It's just the same, along the same lines of religion as the Mormons and Scientology. As long as you're
Well,
still doing good for your community, I'm fine with that. You
but
can believe in whatever the hell you want.
are the
I am
Scientologists doing
too.
good for the community?
I am
No,
too.
but the Mormons are.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that. Uh, everything I've looked into on Scientologists just confirms my beliefs that they're a
Oh, they're
scamming
down.
cult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're downright scary, freaky. I mean, did you watch that series that actress did?
Leon Remini, I think her name
Yeah,
is.
Leah Remini.
Yep.
And
Do not know who that is.
she's an actress
She
that used
was
to be on. Wasn't Everybody Loves Raymond, or wasn't
no,
that?
she was the wife in the King of Queens.
Oh, okay, that's who she was.
Oh, that's her name. Oh, I thought she was beautiful.
Oh, she is.
Yes, she is.
But she went down the rabbit hole of Scientology, and then she realized what was going on and got
Oh
herself out.
no.
And they started going after her because she was debunking them like crazy.
Uh-huh.
Man, she sounds like she should be part of our community.
Oh, so once she got in, she realized how
Yeah.
much bullshit this was and decided to
Mhm.
speak against it, huh?
Yeah, she was exposing them, including the fact that the leader, all the way at the top, his wife started going against it, and he disappeared her.
Yeah,
Pulled
she,
a Drew Peterson on his wife. Ooh.
yeah. Yeah,
And she was exposing
I've read
that,
about
yeah.
that.
So they didn't like that too much.
Yeah.
But you don't go teaching your kids that they're white when they're black. Don't go teaching them things that are factually not true. Because that, when you start teaching children things that are factually not true, that's just point blank child abuse and setting them up for failure in the world.
Well, when you want to tell your children they're a different race than what they are, isn't that sending them the wrong message that they shouldn't be proud of who they are?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're telling them to be proud of something that doesn't exist.
That's why I suspect that Devin's mother is getting upset with him.
Oh, she is.
Because as far as I'm concerned, he's a traitor to his own race.
Oh, absolutely. But see, I don't think he's so much a real understanding traitor, because everything with Devin, and again, with my brother being the way he is, everything with Devin is based out of mental illness. So I don't think that but for his mental illness, and I also have heard chat in our community that he was sexually abused growing up. But for his
Yeah, I read about that.
yeah, but for his life experiences and his mental illness, I don't think that he would believe.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if the source was if it was if it coming from the source that it did, if it's really true or not.
Yeah, the guy was talking about the guy that was claiming to be his uncle, right?
Unfortunately, in this community, there is
excuse me,
a lot of the use of claiming somebody to be either a sexual abuser or sexually abused without any receipts. So
I hear what you're saying, but with that guy claiming what he claimed and claiming to be his uncle, and Devin leaning all the time on pedophilia, that's two kind of every other word out of his mouth. He's accusing somebody who doesn't agree with him of being a pedophile.
Right.
It's too coincidental.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the claim is false. I'm just saying it's hard to believe claims at face value without the receipts.
No, I agree. I agree.
Right.
And it's like other things in life, we just
and
don't
it's
have
frustrating
access to the
when
evidence.
you don't have the ability to research to see if those are factual or not.
Yeah, like within our own community, people have said that he's had multiple psychiatric hospitalizations. Easy to believe, yes, but we don't have access to the evidence.
Right, and we never will if they're medical records.
Oh, absolutely. And we have no right to them either, and I won't.
Right.
I mean, curiosity, yes, but that's not curiosity on my part does not justify my getting those records. I have no right to them.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
like with many things, we have to draw our own conclusions and rely upon what's in our heart.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Judge Judy said it best. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. She wrote a book by that title, and I love that. So,
All right, Judge.
Hi, Judge and Executioner.
hello, Judge. That was a heck of a chat we had the other night with Jerkamiah.
Yeah, little PP pain.
Yeah, exactly. I was even honored that he was, acknowledging my comments.
Last night, watching him getting watching him getting trolled left and right without him even a clue that he was being trolled.
I'm sure he knew.
Yeah, Fish Like a Lady, I just have to say, was awesome.
Yes, you could tell from the look in his eyes that he was actually thinking that that legalized drugs was going to be a good source for helping with his lawsuits.
Mhm.
Well, Chick
That
set
was
up
absolutely
legalized drugs
epic.
to be partnering with Devin on music.
Yeah,
That was
the
masterful.
watching the chat, both the chats from Devon and PP Payne's stream. Oh my god, it was so funny.
Oh, absolutely.
It was especially masterful when Judge got PP Payne and Steven to start fighting.
Uh-oh.
PP.
Oh, gosh.
Who's Steven?
Steven is he was a friend to Judge and Executioner. I think was just so he could get back at Payne. But he's flaked out on some things and turning out to be a real crap basket, in my opinion.
Well, aren't they all?
Yeah. But he was trying to get email to contact PP Payne and give him dirt on Judge. Uh-oh, we lost binary.
Oops.
But yeah, but he was trying to contact him to give PP Payne dirt on Judge, which Payne thinks he knows all about Judge and Executioner, but he knows nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to what Payne was saying in the way of how he identified Judge from Colorado. I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
Does he realize how easy it is to, I mean, with the VPNs and VoIPs?
Oh, he knows, and he claims that he knows somebody that can cut through all of that.
Well, it's possible to cut through that. I mean, it's
If you're
actually
like a
not
super expert, but
yeah.
honestly, this type of guy is not going to be welcome in any community that's based in decency of any sort or intelligence.
Although I'm imagine there's plenty of people trolling him with bullshit,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
claiming to be experts in this or that, and he
Oh, hell
falls
yeah.
for it hook, line, and sinker.
Now, Hank, do you do what kind of research do you do for your channel? Do you have any sources that are good? I'm trying out a couple of different background search services on the internet to see which one's, you know, better than the next?
Personal personal background investigations, or investigating the validity of content, or what?
Well, background, personal background, like criminal records and all of that.
Um, my attorney's office. Well, my attorney and I served before he went to law school. And we've remained friends since, and he is now my attorney, and I have services through his office, like his investigators that help point me out to different things. Be right back.
Okay. So to the chat, I'm going to ask, do any of you have any favorite sites that you find more reliable for information? Because my skills are weak on doing criminal investigation to get court case information, even traffic infractions. Because let's face it, these guys get a lot of them.
The court records is just a matter of knowing where to look, because the court documents are public record, and a lot of a lot of them are on the court's websites, if you know which jurisdictions to check on. And then you've got several states that have the criminal. They've got a criminal database that's publicly accessible.
Okay, so basically, go to each, if you know the state the person's in, go directly to like the court clerk's place on the net.
Well, we'll take PP Payne. If you wanted to get information on him, I would start by going to the Russellville, Kentucky, and its county's court websites, and see what public information is available there first.
Yeah, Steve, I actually do like watching documentaries too. I find them fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because I'm evaluating 3 different search sites. You know, those paid services. I go for the ones that, you know, give you a trial period. And I was trying to dig up Jamal's stuff, and they don't have any record of him even being arrested in Massachusetts. It's like, yeah, you're really up to date.
Yeah. Judges, he mentioned Info Tracker, and that's, from what I've seen of what people have gathered with it, it's reliable information, but it costs you $15 a whack.
Yeah, I know, because I did some research on somebody, and to get the premium, they wanted actually it's up to $18 now.
Yeah. And is that per search, or is that a monthly, or
No, that's per premium. I mean, you get there's a minimum subscription fee, but if you want the juicy stuff, you have to pay 18 per whack.
Yeah, and my luck is I pay the $18 and get nothing of value from it.
Yeah, that's why I dropped U.S. Search. U.S. Search was looking to do that, and I wasn't about to go with a sketchy type of thing where I have to keep paying every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to wind up the ones that I'm still evaluating. I'm going to give their customer service a call, tell them what kind of research I'm looking to do, and let them know that everybody I'm trying to do it on is just, your information is just not up to date. How can I make your service work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I expect to have them be, able to really help? No, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because if you don't ask, you can't get an answer. So, that's kind of where I'm at because I really want the juicy stuff. I want civil cases that these bozos file, I want their criminal records because we need to be putting out there that these people that have followers, like for example,
Mhm.
Pauline's people that go in on her constant garbage conference calls. I'm sure probably most of them have no idea that she's got a heavy criminal record.
Yeah. Or listen to her explain her way out of it.
Yeah, and I want to dig into Taj Tariq because if you take one look at the dude, his face says prison all over it.
Yeah.
So if I can dive into him and expose his criminal history, that's going to take a real whack on him.
Yeah, Steve, it's not the fact that they don't do what they say, it's just it's a gamble when you pay those like InfoTrack or any of the other sites that if there's not if the type of information you're wanting to get's not available, then it's just not available.
Let's see. Let's see. Tube 8 has really expanded my mind, and Judge is saying too many pop-ups. Try Clip Hunter. Oh, okay. So I thought it was something to do with what we were talking about. But yeah, I already got rid of US search. That was like, yeah, not going to waste my, because you sound sketch anyway.
Yeah.
But I have to actually look at the report I ran. It was something I ran for somebody else on InfoTracer, and I did the deep dive for the premium.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
want to see what it pulled up for premium.
yeah, I haven't gotten to. I've done a couple of FOIA requests, but I'm going to the municipalities that those FOIAs are relevant from. But I haven't done the criminal background checks or anything like that yet. I'm still trying to get my editing skills down and things like that before I branch off to do investigations and stuff.
Yeah, I came across a video that I investigated the site on. They were calling themselves sheriffsdepartment.net, and they actually host it. They're not a service that charges anything. They're just a website repository for the legitimate links to the actual government entities, and they explain who does what kind of searches and what they charge, and so they put those links on there. So it's not. I thought it was quite interesting because they actually give the list by state and everything. So I kind of bookmarked that one to take a look at.
Yeah, and for some of the people, you need to investigate where they've been active, because just because an individual lives in, say, Texas, they might have a squeaky clean record in the state of Texas.
But they came from somewhere else.
Yep.
Like Jamal would be a cross reference between Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Because he definitely has records in Rhode Island.
Yeah, and how easy to travel outside that border and get in trouble, like for a trip. There he is. Getting worried about you.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
I
Yeah,
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, sorry about that. My internet went down.
Ah, yeah, I just texted you see what was going on. I was getting worried.
So I take it you put
Oh,
another
did ya?
quarter in for the next 3 minutes?
Ha! Basically.
Yeah, my internet went wacky the other day too. We had an outage in 2 towns, and mine was one of them.
Yep, my internet goes down every day. Sometimes several times a day. Comcast sucks.
Yeah, I haven't had too much problem with my Optimum. Only complaint I have is when I try to access the interface for the router, I can't make any changes to it. It doesn't let the changes be saved because the router web interface is theirs.
Yes.
It's not like I'm using the one that comes with Linksys. So,
Right.
I can't rename my network. I can't, do anything on it, which is annoying.
Yeah, not even my Wi-Fi booster helps. I mean, well, it does help when my kids are using the internet at the same time too. But yeah, when the service itself isn't that good, it's annoying.
I actually got picked to be a participant in a survey that monitors the quality of internet services. It's called Sam Knows. And what you get is they approached me, and with the blessing of Optimum, because I did verify, and they send you a box to attach to your router as your router modem, whatever. Mine is an all-in-one, to monitor the speeds and the quality of the connection. And you can go in and run reports to see, good, bad, or ugly.
Right. Well, you can
And
download software to do that also.
yeah, but this is so that they can.
Yeah, it's
for the
actually
industry.
attached to your router. Yeah.
Yeah, this is for the industry so that they can, know, who's good, bad, or ugly on, quality of service.
Right. And it also monitors peak hours also,
Definitely.
and what the service is being used for, whether it's streaming or uploading data and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite
Hey, Gary Lawler.
pleased with that.
Yeah, because I'm sure they give out reports for ISPs to look at so they can see where they can target their customer base.
Yeah, they're like a Nielsen ratings for ISPs.
Right.
In fact, Nielsen
It's basically all a
$2 in the
big
mail.
scam. In my opinion, the internet should have been free to begin with, but I'm not going to go into that.
Well, yeah, I do agree with that because it's something everybody needs, but you still have, companies have to maintain their infrastructure. So I'm on the fence about it. The lines still have to be maintained, the towers, the switching offices, all of those. So
Yeah.
there is an overhead. But where I object is the monopolization of area by area. For example, the only 2 choices in my area are either Verizon or Optimum.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
it. No others.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the next video.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's this one is the our
That
fighting
one's
heroes number 1.
right. My military tribute.
Yep. Gonna go ahead and get that started here. Enjoy.
I'll sit and enjoy my coffee.
Phone call to the wife of a fallen soldier. And I want us this morning to honor those fallen soldiers in a bit of a different way. Really, I want to share the stories of those 4 men who were killed in the line of duty. 4 families are now heartbroken today. Children are without fathers, wives are without their husbands, and parents are without their sons. And I want to go beyond the politics, because that's what matters here for just a moment, and focus on these brave American heroes who are defending our freedoms and their devastated families today. Here are the men who died for our country. All 4 were members of the Army's 3rd Special Forces Group based at Fort Bragg. 35-year-old Army Staff Sergeant Brian Black. He was a Special Forces medical sergeant. He's a master chess, poker, and carpentry, as well as stock trading. He grew up in Washington State. He leaves behind his wife, Michelle, and their 2 young sons. 39-year-old Army Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Johnson. He was a chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear specialist. He's from the state of Ohio. He has a wife, Crystal, and their 2 daughters. Staff Sergeant Johnson loved motorcycles, the outdoors, and smoking cigars. He was a businessman before enlisting in the Army back in 2007. His commander said, quote, "Johnson was an exceptional soldier in all regards. We as a nation are fortunate to have men like Jeremiah." 29-year-old Army Staff Sergeant Dustin Wright, whose brother Will I spoke to yesterday. His family has a 205-year history in the military. Staff Sergeant Wright followed his dad, his mom, and his brother Will, all in the military. And Will says Dustin didn't want accolades or praise or awards. He did his job fighting for this country because it's what he loved and it's what he was born to do. And finally, a man who's getting a lot of attention and certainly needs some. 25-year-old Army Sergeant David T. Johnson of Miami Gardens, Florida. He was a Special Forces engineer from Georgia. Sergeant Johnson's body arrived in Miami yesterday. The sergeant's American flag draped casket was wheeled out of the plane by 6 other American soldiers at Miami International Airport. His wife, Maisha, was escorted to the casket along with her 6-year-old daughter to greet the casket of her husband. This heart-wrenching image of a wife leaning over the casket of her love. You can hear her sobbing as she stood with her daughter. Her little girl is next to her in braids, wearing a pink dress and holding her mom's hand. She kissed the casket before walking away. American hero Sergeant Johnson has 2 young children, and his wife is pregnant, expected to have a baby this February. Those are 4 great American heroes who are the ones we should be talking about, whether it's the president calling their families or whether it's all of us every day appreciating the men and women who serve our country, who may be thousands of miles away, who cannot forget to honor them in our daily lives. We'll be back.
Excuse me.
You're right, b1nary?
Yeah, that got to me.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, I was on mute.
Yeah,
That's what the media should be doing.
Yeah, I was surprised when I came across that. A lot of people put down MSB, and it was the first time I ever seen somebody get emotional on so-called fake news media, and it just tugs at your heartstrings.
You see plenty of them faking emotion.
Yeah.
If she's faking, she deserves an Oscar.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
because when it affects you, I don't think it's faking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have given a little bit of a disclaimer on that one.
Yeah. Whether we get to show them or not, but the other heroes video is another one that hard to keep a dry eye watching.
Yeah, there was a lot that I came across, but I could not use because of I didn't have the money to purchase the rights to it.
Yeah.
I went to Washington, D.C. one time, way back when. My dad worked for a company, and the owner had a friend that was on Secret Service for Clinton's detail at the time that he was in the White House. And he set up a personal tour for us, for my family after hours at the White House. And the things we saw there were just unbelievably beautiful. I felt so absolutely honored. And I remember that to this day. And before we actually did the tour at night, we got there during the day, and my dad took us to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And at that time, everybody was so respectful.
Oh wow!
So respectful. Nowadays, you get idiot tourists that cross lines and everything and don't care. But
Well,
not
you
back
got
when I
the-
went. Everybody was.
Do it for the fucking TikTok.
Yeah.
And you've got the honor guard that's there to remind them.
I have I can't recall offhand which numbered videos it is, but I do have a couple regarding the honor guard in that series.
There's
Yeah,
a documentary out there on the honor guard, just on their
Yeah.
history and their responsibilities and behind the scenes. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And the meaning behind why we honor the unknown soldier.
Yeah. And I've watched videos that when people cross the line, they don't realize that
There's live
When they
ammunition that those guards are carrying, and they will use
yes,
it.
when I've seen on a couple of them where they've racked the bolt back, they're actually loading around,
Uh-huh.
and they are ready to use it if the individual doesn't.
Yeah, they have authorization to also.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a damn thing we can do about that.
Absolutely, and we shouldn't.
The instructions, from what I understand, for the memorial is clearly written and posted for all to see.
Yeah.
It is. I absolutely saw it that time when I went.
Nice.
You know, there's maintenance that they're trying to do for that actual tomb because there's cracks in it that have been forming.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's. It's that old that it's getting cracks because no ground stays perfect, and then water does get in over time. To the structure itself and the is it
Right.
it's is it marble or granite that it's made out of?
I'm not entirely sure.
But yeah, they have been repairing cracks.
That's a good question. Let me look that up real quick.
And I'm sure the studies that are being shown for repair are how to repair and keep as much intact as humanly possible.
Oh, absolutely, because they have done studies on repair versus replace because there is a line that everything gets in the planet where you can't repair it any further and it has to be replaced or else it's just going to get worse and be done.
Well, right. And right here it says that it was built in 1931 out of marble slabs, and the sarcophagus weighs a total of 79 tons.
You know, it's amazing that they haven't decided to try to do DNA on those that are in there. But I'm also glad that they haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to use the word glad because it's the wrong term to use, but it's the only one I can find.
Right. Well, more than likely, I mean, it wouldn't do any good anyway because there was no DNA database back then anyway.
True, but they could, if there's DNA left on the bodies, they could run it against a familial because enough people post things to Ancestry and get things from 23andMe and everything.
Yeah.
So they could make a connection that way.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
From, if I remember right, they do have what to do in case of remains are identified, especially for the more recent conflicts.
Yeah, because one was removed from one of them. I think from the Gulf, from Desert Storm, possibly. If I'm remembering correct, I could be wrong, but it was a recent one, a recent like war, and somebody was identified, and they returned the remains to the family.
Well, the Gulf should be the first war that none of the remains brought home should have been unidentified because we had the DNA database already be established.
Yeah.
Or wait, that might have been the last conflict that it wasn't established.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that we don't have any remains in there from the Civil War. I know this was made after that, but it's amazing that they haven't decided to include that for historical purposes and respect.
And if they do, in today's climate, if you can't prove that it was at least a soldier from the North, you wouldn't be able to get it. You'd have all sorts of protests over.
Well, I would say put one of each because they were all Americans.
Well,
period.
look what they're doing. Look what they're doing to any memorial that has anything to do with somebody who was involved with the Confederacy. They're renaming installations.
Are you talking about Arlington National Cemetery?
No, I'm referring to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier that we, even though it was built after the Civil War, I'm surprised that they haven't, taken, so an unknown from both sides to add to the unknown.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's what I'm referring because, and it should be one from both sides because both sides were American.
Right. Yeah, my understanding is that Arlington National Cemetery has over 2,000 Union and Confederate soldiers.
Yeah.
Which is as it should be.
Right.
But, I mean, today's social climate, Fort Hood is on the blocks to get renamed because the individual that was named after served in the Confederate military.
Right.
Our world, not just our country, our world is so messed up.
Yeah.
Because to just say our country alone is messed up is not even right because our crap has spilled over to other countries with all of this sovereign garbage.
Oh. It does get kind of entertaining when you see an Australian softsit proclaim his First Amendment rights.
Yeah, and other countries using the Magna Carta.
Yeah. But they have I have no doubt that Australia has a similar right to the First Amendment, but they don't have a First Amendment right. They
Yeah.
might have the
Right.
freedom.
They're not
the freedom
Americans.
of- Yeah.
Did you guys see that video where somebody was trying to take over one of the castles in Edinburgh?
Yes.
That
It
was
priceless.
funny
They
as
kept
hell.
reciting the Magna Carta.
They
It was
take
only them that
themselves
was doing it.
And there was
When
only
they-
10 of them.
when they do these silly things. They take themselves so seriously too.
Yeah.
I mean, this insanity is spreading across the globe.
Almost
makes
as
me
if it
cross
was
my
a
eyes.
virus, huh?
Yeah. I mean, imagine
Sorry.
enough ammunition for his camera. I mean, for his cannon for my face palms.
Yeah.
Hey, Reaper. How's it going?
Greetings, people. How are you?
I was
Hey,
wondering what was
DJ,
taking you
when
so
are you-
long to come up.
Yeah. Hey, DJ, when are you doing new videos? Hello, Reaper.
Hello. How are you today, Wonder Woman?
Oh, pretty good. No complaints here.
Let me take a little break for a little admin push in here. For those of you that joined us last time, I greeted everybody. Everybody's welcome. Glad to have you. Hopefully you're enjoying the program. It is an open panel, open discussion. If you got something else you want to talk about, the link's at the top. Feel free to come on up.
Yeah,
Only-
sorry for the long delay with me coming in. I'm helping out the neighbor next door, moving some stuff around, and this will be literally day 4 of me moving crap. I think my body's beaten enough for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it takes all day just to get yourself motivated to do something. Or at least for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I got a late start on Sunday. Got everything done on Monday. Turned around and was still doing it on Tuesday. And now today, I figured I was going to be taking a break. Nope, I'm helping the neighbor now. So here's day 4.
Yeah.
Me lifting again. I think my body's seen enough. My knee's already the size of a freaking basketball.
Oh,
Ouch.
no. Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah, that's starting to kill me. And if anybody's wondering who the Grim Reaper is on there, that's me, guys. I finally got that fixed.
Oh, you're not Spirit Wolf anymore?
I was trying to change that for literally 4 years, and I couldn't. I finally was able to do it now that I got 16 people following me. Wow, I was able to change my name. Holy crap, that's a first.
If I knew you were trying to change your name, I could have walked you through it.
Oh, it wouldn't let me even if I tried. It kept telling me I didn't have enough followers. I don't know what kind of a weird thing that is, but
Okay. I only had 6 followers when I changed the name.
oddly enough, it kept saying I didn't have a whole lot. But then again, you got to remember, Hank, I only had like 4 people total.
Yeah.
So I think
I might not even have had 6 when I did it because I changed the name on it. I changed the name on it well before I even thought about doing any content.
Yeah, I'm just getting it done now. So
Yeah, changing the name is easy. It's changing your ID. What does YouTube call it? Your ID channel. Your channel ID. That's where you have problems where you have to wait till you have a certain amount of subscribers.
Hey, Chris Casa.
I might have turned around and changed it all the way then, if that's the case.
Well,
Yeah,
like for
mine-
instance, I've gone by Darth Seiler for many years before I started doing content, and I couldn't change that until after I started putting in content and got over 500 subscribers.
Tell me this was about maybe 5 years ago before you changed that name.
No,
No? How long
No,
ago before you changed it?
it was my first when I first signed up back in, oh God, I want to say 2012, 2011, something like that. And I just recently started posting content over a year and a half ago.
I always wondered where you disappeared to. Now I know who it is.
Wait, what?
Dude. I used to
I
be
did
on.
Goddess
I
of
used to
Truth,
turn
it made
around
me-
and watch you on a couple of the other channels that you were watching at one time, and turned around and we've had a very slim few conversations because of the amount of people that were in the chats. Not to mention, it was kind of hard for me to do with my cell phone because it kept dying on me.
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
not helpful.
Yeah.
Well, for the longest time, I didn't go up on any panels because I couldn't talk properly because of when I was sick and I was intubated and it damaged my my larynx.
Yeah, but you talked.
So-
You did a lot of. You did a lot of on the chat too. And that's how I
Yeah.
was talking to a lot of people for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Until StreamYard, technically, I can say that. And Hank giving me my first debut of being a complete butthead that I am.
For some reason, when I created Goddess of Truth, I originally had a channel previous to this, and it had no content still. It was just under Wonder Woman. Somebody didn't like a comment I made somewhere, and YouTube took my channel away from it completely. So when I created a new email address for Gmail, and I created my new YouTube account, it made me create a channel separate from the one that I'm using all the time, which is why I put an M at the end of my name because it stands for master account, because it always asked me to sign in under the 2, because it would not let me post any comments unless I created a channel. I was like, what in the world? And if I try to delete that channel, that's simply Goddess of Truth without the M. It tells me when I go back to start commenting under Goddess of Truth M, it tells me I can't comment until I create a channel.
Well, one thing I'd like to be able to do, but it's not allowing me. I haven't figured out a way that'll allow me to do it yet. Is to change my Gmail account that my YouTube is. I've got
that you opened it up under, right?
Yeah, because I opened up a new email account for just the doing YouTube business. It's helping me keep things straight for my personal. My personal one's crowded enough with life crap in it. So but it won't let me fully switch over.
I think you have to, in order to have a YouTube account, it has to be a Gmail account set in stone.
The new email I created is just hankscorner007 at gmail.com.
You're going to get a kick out of this. I'm still running it with an old AOL account that I've had for about 20 years now. I'm not even kidding you. This name has been on the Spirit Wolf name it's been going for quite a long time, for over 20 years with an AOL account.
Dang.
I was AOL before AOL was available for Windows because I was on a Mac at the time. And I still have my original accounts. They haven't canceled my accounts. My original screen name was, you're going to crack up laughing, LIV, the number 4, and then LUV. So live for love.
Yeah. If you create an account before Google bought YouTube, you could use any email to establish the account. But once Google bought YouTube, one of their first rules was to establish a new account, it's got to be linked into Gmail.
Yeah,
but you should be able to post an email account on your channel that's not a Google, but your account has to be tied just for the account purpose to Google.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
mine's not.
Virgo
It's tied
uses
to my
Proton
email.
Mail.
I'm still stuck with the old AOL. I haven't gotten rid of that thing in quite a long time.
Wonder
Hey, I'm
Woman, I
not
have a
paying for it.
question
I don't
about
care.
that.
I don't have to pay for it. What do I care?
Yeah, exactly. But the company still exists, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to ask about that. I know it was sold.
To Time Warner, and then
was,
Time Warner got rid of it.
yeah, it was basically picked apart in what is called a fire sale for the assets within the media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're still able to access it.
Yeah.
If you had an existing Proton Mail account, you still have access to it to receive mail, send mail, get email sent to it. You just can't open up a new Proton Mail account.
Well, no, he's asking about AOL now.
Oh, but that's probably pretty common amongst a lot of the old free email provider. Well, AOL
You know
wasn't.
what? I'm just for craps and giggles. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can access my very original first screen name. Let's see.
But you won't have the type of services that you did before, though, right?
Oh, of course not. But it's just raw email, period. Like you go to Yahoo or anybody.
Right. Yeah, I used to be a contractor within the Catwatch division of AOL.
Yeah.
We monitored the servers and the chat rooms.
Oh, a couple of months back, I came across one of my notebooks that had my old Yahoo Mail accounts in it. That I created different Yahoo accounts for different purposes.
Yeah, I still have Yahoo accounts running around.
Yeah, me too.
But I went into some of them, and God, just nothing but spam in them.
Yep.
That's usual.
But that's what most of those were. They were created to be spam catchers for when a site insisted you give them an email to access. I would give them.
Right. Well, the email that I have attached to my channel is a Yahoo one. It was one of my first gaming emails that I had set up, and I kept it. That's what my handle was on DeviantArt.com was Stop Cold.
Well, one of my internet
and one of my gaming channels.
Yeah, one of my internet providers. It was. Oh, brain farting on the name of it now. But it was a mobile internet provider that had it used cell towers, but it did not use cell data. It was unlimited internet, being able to use the cell towers. Clearwire. It was a great service when I had it for being mobile with I could take it with my laptop and set up email anywhere I could get a sufficient cell signal. And
Hi, two bitches in a box truck.
Hey, how you doing, two bitches?
I will be right back. I just want to grab my cell phone.
All right.
Anybody know if Dutch is still on here or what?
He was not too long ago.
He left already?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I've been glancing every now and then to the chat. I apologize for not keeping up on that.
Yeah, I tried to keep an eye on what's going on in chat, but as the number of people watching grows, it gets harder and harder to keep up with what else is being said.
Yeah, for me, as I get older, I have a hard time multitasking. I used to be really good at it, but not since I turned 50.
For those of you who liked Binary's Hero, the Heroes Amongst Us, check out Lavender Mexican, her End of Watch series.
Oh yes, she
Very
has
moving.
an awesome tributes to our men and women of blue.
I've been watching a lot of her channel when it pops up on my system, and honestly, I've had a ball. I had a blast with some of the stuff that she was showing, and definitely turned around and seen quite a bit of what you just mentioned as well, which is
Yeah.
really
Well, I love her content, both her Watchdog content, but her End of Watch is
Yes,
just so moving.
yes, it is very.
Oh yeah, especially the canine ones. That really gets to me.
Well, she goes into a lot better detail than I did. She actually posts names and whatnot, and yeah, it's very moving. It'll
Yeah.
definitely bring a tear to your eye, that's for sure.
that is
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm sure that when she recovers from getting uprooted from the storm, I'm sure more of those will be coming out.
Yeah, I'm just glad she's okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
DGen, thought she just put a new one out a couple days ago on non-accountability angel.
Yeah, if memory serves correct, I think that's one of the ones I watched. I'll have to take a look here real quick.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up through the chat here, seeing what I missed. And Archangel commented about his AOL accounts that he still has access to. And he also talked about he was able to change his YouTube to customize his URL. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
And he also responded to my comment about being intubated and it damaging my larynx. The same thing happened to him.
Unfortunately, that's not as uncommon as you'd hope.
Right. Yeah, because the second time my saturation levels plummeted, I went into cardiac arrest, and they had to induce me into a drug-induced coma.
Oh
And
wow!
I was out for about 4 days, I think it was.
Yeah. I had to intubate a soldier, and I damaged his larynx, but there was no the swelling that was going on when I was trying to tube him. There was no avoiding
it. Yeah, I completely understood. That's why I have a bit of a speech impediment.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it used to. It took me several months for me to even talk properly. I was talking by notepad.
Yeah. It's one. The damaged larynx can take a while to get recovered from to where you can speak again.
Yes.
Not just the pain you experience trying to speak when the fresh damage is fresh, but they got to be retrained. The vocal cords have to be retrained.
Right. That goes basically for any appendage that you've had surgery on, like when I got shot in Iraq, my knee was replaced by surgical titanium, and I had to learn how to walk all over again.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough I didn't lose the lower half of my left leg, and it's
Yeah.
amazing how you take things for granted, that you don't have control over certain parts of your body anymore.
Well, my TBI took out the portion of my brain, crossed wires in the portion of my brain that I had to relearn walking again.
Yep, I did too.
And the vulnerability of not being able to not only could I not walk, but motor control itself was a real issue. Trying to drink a glass of water, I had to have assistance to get the cup up to where I could drink.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Because I would either over articulate the movement or under articulate it. And
Yep. No, I understand what you're saying.
And actually, I officially got into my AOL original account.
Nice.
Live for Love, like I said, was the first one. I have others, but I figured why not go with the oldest? And wow, they even still have my emails that I had saved from back in 2008.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
One of them is from a Yahoo group that I belong to. And of course, Yahoo Groups is no more.
There would be no way I could access my emails. I have long since forgotten my username and password.
Well, I use Norton Identity Safe. I've used it for like 20 plus years. And it
Good,
actually had my original AOL accounts listed in it.
well,
Good idea.
I got the notebook I found with my Yahoo accounts. It goes back to my email account. It's even that notebook was started with phone numbers for bulletin boards.
Right.
You see, I got lucky, and both lucky and unlucky. I started out on a Mac, which with System 7, that's how long ago it was, and it was immediately on folders. You want it, you click it, you see it with a mouse. So I never did learn DOS, and never did learn command line, which is now shooting me in the foot and kicking my ass now that I'm in class.
Well, that's because you didn't have a need to back then.
Yeah, I never did.
It was pretty hard to understand because back then a lot of the early computer games were run through DOS, and you did have to have a basic understanding of the DOS baselines in order to run the programs. And now I think it's within Windows. It's called PowerShell, I believe.
Yeah, it is PowerShell.
I don't mess with that anymore since I don't program in C++ anymore. But back then you did have to have some knowledge in the command lines in order to run games. Back when they were still on old quarter-inch floppy disks.
Yeah. And I messed around. My cousin, who's older than me, had a Commodore 64, and he had a Radio Shack also before that. So I used to play some kind of rescue loader game that was on the 5 1/4.
Right.
My first real computer had a 10-inch floppies, which it was a rigid disc, but they called it a floppy.
Yeah.
And in upgrading and trying to keep life into it, we went up to the 7.5-inch floppies. But the next computer I got, we already had the 3.5-inch floppies. So I had a 7.5 and 3.5-inch floppy hard drive in the case, and then an external zip drive on it.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, I even had a SCSI connected jazz drive.
I remember those.
Oh, hell yeah. I had a good old iOmega. I had a zip drive and I had a jazz drive.
Uh-huh.
We got one of the old Atari computers. I don't really consider that a real computer.
No.
It utilized a tape drive, which I hated those damn things because sometimes you'd have to try and load 4 or 5 times before the whole thing would load right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And there was no hard drive to keep. So once you loaded it, you had to load it every time before playing a game.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
And some of the bigger games would have multiple tapes. And you would get to a certain point in the game, and you would have to switch tapes and reload it again.
Wow.
And go through the pain a second time.
It made that deck of cards for solitaire look so attractive, didn't it?
Well, there was no doing anything else on that computer while it was loading anything, though. It didn't have the RAM to be able to accomplish 2 tasks at one time.
You know, not for nothing, I'm the only girl on this panel, so I've got to say this. I'm amazed at the names that were created for these things. I mean, hard disk, RAM, but I don't understand the floppy disk. I mean, these systems were created by men.
Yeah. Some of them are easily explained with the acronyms that they normally.
No, but you know where I'm heading with that, right?
Yeah. I know. I mean, there's a lot of sexual innuendo that can be made about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I had to stop my brain from going into overload on joke there.
I'm looking at my old mail that they have because they have 1,094 mail messages saved on my account. And the oldest is going back to 2013. Wow, 9/11/2013.
When people complain about how difficult it is to build your own computer nowadays, I have to laugh my ass off because our first computer it was called a Heathkit H89.
Yeah.
They started the company with kits for things like radios and other rudimentary electronics, but they kept developing throughout the ages, and they came out with a computer kit where you actually had to solder your connections to get. You had to solder diodes onto circuit boards, and then it was a project. Me and my dad took better part of a year to put that thing together.
I never learned soldering. Or is it soldering or soldering, or is there a difference?
I've heard it pronounced both ways. I've always gone with solder.
That's me too.
But there's a lot of words
SOLDER, right?
Yeah,
it's SOLDER, right?
I believe.
Okay, so it is the same word, just different pronunciation. Okay.
My spelling's atrocious. If it wasn't for a spell check, I'd be completely lost.
You see, I'm quite the opposite because when I was in grade school, we had in sixth grade we were doing something called vocabulary, and I loved learning about words. Totally
Hey, Hank.
loved.
Yes.
Hey, Lavender Mexican has a request for you.
Ah.
For Hank or for who?
For Hank.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Had to load up the right. Bask in
Prior
the
to those
gloriousness
kits
of my beard and
that
my
you
deck.
talked about, there were, even before our generation.
That is an epic beard.
In my dad's generation, they had crystal radio kits.
Uh-huh.
I've only heard about those.
I also have only heard about them, but I like history, so that's how I heard about them.
Right.
I remember the original color TV that we had in our house. We only had one at the time. It was a gigantic chassis set for RCA with dials, with the dials and knobs and everything. And it was based on radio tubes.
Yeah. Yeah, our first TV, the earliest TV I can remember was one of those big console TVs that it had a little mini bar inside. You open up a lid, there's a mini bar in it. There's a stereo with a record player.
Wow. Could you imagine if you still had that today? That would be one hell of a conversation piece and an antique.
But it had radio tubes in it that we had to keep spares on hand. In the winter when we'd try and turn on the TV was down in the basement. And if the basement got
cold.
If the basement got cold and when we wouldn't heat it until we were going down into the basement, but if we tried to turn the TV on before we got the room and the tubes warm, then we blew through a lot of tubes that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad used to keep the TV set on a contract with RCA, and when something would go out, he'd just call the guy in. And I used to sit on their bed in their bedroom, and I loved watching that guy, even as a child, open up that set and replace tubes. And it got to a point where the guy literally said to my dad, "Mr. Klein, please don't renew the contract on this. I can't get the tubes anymore. Everybody's moved on to circuit boards." And my dad kind of looked at him. He kind of sighed and he said, "Well, I guess maybe it is time to move
on." There are companies that are making vacuum tubes for older TVs and radios again.
I wish I still had that TV. I really do. We also had 2 antique ones that we inherited from relatives that passed away in our family room that we had. It was like an enclosed porch in the back. My parents decided that it was time to get rid of one of them because it hadn't been used in like 30, 40 years. And I cried my eyes out when I heard the garbage pick it up and crush it in the garbage truck. And I cried because that was an antique that I loved.
Right.
Yeah, my brother still got the TV, that console TV. He still got it. One of these days, he's gonna get the parts to get the TV.
The one you were talking about with the mini bar? Oh my god!
The TV portion of it doesn't work, but the
of course not.
It's got an AM radio, FM. I don't think it had FM.
There was no FM at that time.
The radio works. The record player works. Um,
I'm willing to bet the
many,
record player's belt drive.
huh?
Is the record player based on a belt drive?
I don't remember.
Because that was the technology at that time for those things. If you lifted up the platter, you would see a large, what looked like a gigantic rubber band, much like a fan belt for the old cars.
It very well could be. The part I remember was taking off the back panel to replace tubes, watching my dad do that, and just being in awe of all the stuff back there.
You know, there's a museum in New York that I keep meaning to go to over all the years, and I never have, and I should. Shame on me. It's called the Museum for Radio and Television, and it's in New York City.
All right, see you, Tim.
I definitely have to go there when everything settles down. Right now, you don't want to go into New York, trust me.
Bye, Tim. Take care and stay safe.
Bye, Tim. But
Yeah,
I definitely
I'll never forget the time that I started introducing my kids to my music collection, and they were fascinated. Especially my daughter was fascinated by my albums. But I'll never forget the look on her face when she started digging into my tape collection, and she opened one up and looked at it. I'll never forget the look on her face asking, "What's this?" And I was both sad and happy at the same time, but just the way that she said it and the way that she was looking at it with awe was it was a little emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was driving a 77 and I had which was my parents' car originally, and it had a carburetor, of course. And my dad had the hood open on his Ford and doing some work. And I'm looking at the engine, I'm saying, "Where's the carburetor? Where's the air filter?" And he goes, "The what? They don't use those anymore." He looked at me, he was cracking up laughing. I mean, that car lasted to be like 30 years old practically, and was still running. I had to sacrifice it into storage because it was rotting in the back floor, but the engine was sound as a dollar. And eventually I wanted to refurb it, from the ground up, but Superstorm Sandy took it out from where it was being stored.
Oh no.
I was so heartbroken because the guy that was storing it, it was the family mechanic. He had back of his business, he had a place that he could rent out. And he said, "Yeah, it's time to get rid of it. A tree fell on it. It's all rusted out." And I literally wrote him back. I said, "Ray, please, here's the title all signed over to you. I don't want any of the money because in my heart it's blood money. And I'm telling you, I'm not even showing up the day that they come to take it because you don't need a woman crying hysterically on your station." And I just did it like that. And I still miss that car, and I still wish I could resurrect it from wherever it might be. 305 V8, automatic, ran like a lion.
Well, I have to be honest with you, I don't know much about cars.
For a 77,
I can change.
305 V8
I can
was
work
pretty
on my
large.
own engine. I can change my own oil and all my liquids and change my own tire. But other than that, I don't know much.
You see, I'm a happy camper if you give me a screwdriver. When I was driving that car, I was dating a guy that had the air gun to change tires, all that. And he taught me how to do a lot of things on that, on the car. Like I rebuilt my carburetor with him. We got the kit and he worked with me. This is how you do it. And the two of us rebuilt the carburetor. he swapped out the rear springs for me, but he would not let me do that because the only way to safely change out springs in the back of a car when they're the coil ones is to put it on a lift so the bottom of the car drops. But he only had stands, so he had to use a spring compressor. And he's like, "You ain't touching this," because he knew I didn't have the strength for it. And if that popped, it takes out your chest and you're done. So he did that for me.
Yeah, one of my stepdads couldn't swallow his pride to ask for assistance when trying to do things maintenance wise on the. He would see me working on the cars, and then to prove something, he would work on the family car, doing things, and he decided to change the shocks out. Well, he didn't know what he was doing. Did not put a compression clamp on the spring before he unbolted it. How he took a chunk out of the driveway. How he managed to do it without losing hand or leg in the process, I'm still amazed.
He got lucky.
Yeah.
Somebody was looking over him.
Would you excuse me, please? I'll be right back. I'm being yelled for.
Okay. You see, the only other car that I ever did anything on was
See you, little Dickens.
After the 77 went into storage. I got a Camaro, and they saw me coming. But I didn't even know how to haggle. I paid the flat price that they had on the car. And they were glad that I didn't do a trade-in, but they were amazed that I didn't do a trade-in for the 77. And they sold me on a security system where you had to touch a key fob to a part of the car to allow it to be started. But that system wound up being flawed, and it drained the battery constantly. So eventually I had that system, yanked out. But till we figured out what was causing it, I had to keep it plugged into a wall socket in a garage to keep the battery charged.
Well, you probably use some like my motorcycles on a trickle charger.
Yeah, I mean, and I even had to replace a fuse on the car one time. Those things happen. But my dad could no longer do anything, because he had a bad back. And I was lucky that I had T-tops on that car, because literally the fuse box was all the way underneath where the steering column is on the dashboard. So I had to take the T-top off for the driver's side and go in upside down, sliding into the gas pedal area with my feet sticking upward through the roof.
I bought which vehicle it was when I bought it, but I had a problem. I was sure was a fuse out, so I was looking for the fuse box. Every other vehicle I ever owned, the fuse box was located in the dash around the steering column somewhere. Usually pretty easy to see. I didn't see it, so I'm hunting with I'm going all up under there with a flashlight looking for the fuse box. And after about 20 minutes, I gave up looking for the fuse box there. I checked under the hood. No fuse box I couldn't find a fuse box under the hood. To access the fuse box, you had to take the air. There was an air box on it to your intake had a box that would filter, and then it went to the engine intake. You had to remove that box to get to the damn fuse box in it.
Oh, wow.
Why they designed such a hard place to get access fuses, I don't.
I know I've seen cars that have had it actually made sensibly where they put it into the side of the glove box. That works.
Yeah, I've seen them in glove boxes before.
And my original 77, the gas tank was under the back license plate. You would flip up the back license plate.
Yeah.
And you'd pump your gas there. I mean, you couldn't pump your own in New Jersey, still can't. But you could go to either side of the pump.
Yeah. My old Jeep, the gas tank was under the license plate, and I loved it because you had access to pump from both sides. When I took a trip through Oregon where you couldn't pump your own gas, actually had the gas station attendant. While he was pumping gas, I went in and used the restroom. I come out, he's like, "Oh, I can't find your gas tank."
God. Oh, I miss that car, man. I really miss that car.
A friend of mine's fuse box is in the trunk. He's got a BMW. The battery in the fuse box is in the trunk.
That's a weird place.
Yeah, I can understand the battery being back there. It was a safety issue that they put it back there for. But the fuse box, I think that should be up towards where all the electrical components are.
Absolutely.
Hell, they make it hard enough just to change light bulbs out on vehicles these days.
Oh, I know. With my Camaro, I wanted to change my headlight because one was out. I mean, okay, you can do it yourself. The nose area had the headlights so recessed back, you had to have a special tool to reach there to get the screws. You know?
A friend of mine's truck to change the driver's side light bulb out, you have to remove the. He's got a wheel well guard, and you've got to remove that. And then there's an access panel you've got to remove behind that. And then you can reach your arm up there and go blind to remove the old bulb out and put the new bulb in.
Oh my God. Some of these people that build these things just don't have any common sense.
Yeah. Or they try and pack so much crap up under the hood that old cars didn't have to worry about. All the computerized BS. They make life a whole lot easier for people who don't know how to do maintenance because you can go longer between maintenance cycles. You don't have to worry about adjusting your spark plugs, your timing belt. Grease zerks are a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean,
once a month I had to.
Definitely.
Yeah, once a month I put the car up on
fan belts in cars.
Yes, they're just more and more difficult these days.
Because I haven't had to change a fan belt in a car since my first car, so I was wondering if they even have them anymore.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a vehicle without a fan belt, but I know some of the serpentine belts and other things, they last a hell of a long time before you need to replace them. But when you do need to replace them, go find a mechanic.
Yeah, my first car came with an AM radio, no cassette, just AM radio, and you had the little push buttons on it to move the thing in addition to the knobs.
Well, my first car was a 66 Mustang. The dash had been raped where there was no radio in it. The chrome was missing off the dash, so I had to go. I got it fixed up to where it was drivable. And I replaced everything that had to be replaced on the dash, like the knobs that were necessary.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Never got around to a full restore on it.
A emergency brake release that was a pull lever, or not a lever. It was a pull cable with a handle on it that said emergency brake. And I remember my dad taught me you always put on the emergency brake in those days. And I put the emergency brake on, and when I was going to leave from picking up my paycheck where I was working, I pulled the handle to release the brake, and the cable snapped. And I was so shocked that I automatically put the brake back on. And then I said, oh shit, what did I do? I had to have a friend come with a needle nose pliers and release the brake again for me. And I still have the broken handle with the cable. I mean, the handle with the broken cable on it.
Yeah.
Because it's just too priceless a memory.
If you want to stump millennials, show them the old high beam switches on them.
Hank, you're muffled.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah, if you really want to stump millennials, just show them the old high beam switch.
Oh, yeah, the button on the floor.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Gotta love those. I had in my first apartment, I had a party one time, and I did a scavenger hunt. And I have the list pre-printed that I did. I did a lot of copies. And I just picked a whole bunch of random items to throw on the list and give random points. And one of the items was,
excuse me,
a part off a car not your own. So at that point, I already was driving my Camaro, but I had a garage space and a driveway space. So I put my 77 in storage in the garage and left my Camaro on the driveway. My cousin was invited with his wife. So they went and did their things. And one of the things that he did, that he decided to go for, was a part off a car, not his own. He went into my garage, pulled off the radio knob, and gave me that. And I go, doesn't that look familiar? And he goes, well, it's not my car. And I still have that radio knob. Car gone by like 20 years, but still have the brake release and the radio knob.
Yeah, my first car was that Mustang. I got the
what year?
It was a 66.
That's when I was born.
Yeah, well, it was before I was born. But I love the classic look to it, and
oh, nothing like those classic looks. That's why they did the Camaros these days the way it is.
I wish I would
have.
Yeah, I wish I would have kept that car long enough to do a full restore on it and still owned it, but I found a really good deal on a 66 GTO tricarb.
Tricarb, 3 carburetors?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Didn't know there was such a thing.
Uh-huh.
Is that a racing car?
Oh, no. Well, they could be raced, but mine was a rag top. You could go fast with it, but you wouldn't be able to race them safely.
Ah, okay.
Good for
my Camaro and the Corvette I leased had the Camaro had T-tops and the Corvette had a Targa top. I miss those cars.
Yeah, goats were great for quarter miles. About the only thing that could manufacture vehicles back then that could give it a challenge was 2-year models of the Chevelle.
Yeah, my car was a 77 Malibu, and it replaced my dad was always a Chevy person. He replaced the the car that I had replaced a green Chevelle or a Chevelle Malibu because the Chevelles eventually became Malibus.
Hey, Kick.
Hey, Kick,
Hi, Kick. How's it going?
you want to come up? We're talking vehicles.
I don't know if Reaper is with us anymore. Reaper, are you there? Hello?
He does have
Bueller?
a habit of just hanging out.
Bueller? Bueller? Bueller?
Yeah, I'm listening to do that Bueller. I actually tried to pull a Bueller when I rolled my odometer on the 77. I wanted to get the numbers perfectly lined up, and I didn't know that you couldn't go backwards and get them to roll. So I'm going backwards, trying to get them to line up perfectly, because the odometer was dials, and it only went up to 99,999. I totally didn't know.
Speaking of Ferris Bueller, does anybody else get the Ferris Bueller vibe from Blue Bacon?
From who?
Blue Bacon?
I don't really follow him that much.
I do not know who that is.
I've heard of him, but I don't really follow him. Isn't he the guy that does DeWitt?
He did a lot of DeWitt content, but he's not a one-trick pony. It was just DeWitt took up all of his YouTube time. Now that DeWitt's been sentenced and everything, now he's moving on to new projects.
What was his sentence? Do you know?
18 months, and then I forget exactly how long his probation afterwards was, and part of his probation is he's losing his motorcycle endorsement, won't be able to get a driver's license period for like 6 months, and some others.
Did he have to sacrifice his business?
Oh yeah, he has to be separated from all assets
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say blue or Lou?
Blue Bacon.
Blue, as in the color blue.
Okay, yeah, I do know of him. I'm subbed and I watch him regularly.
Yeah, he's the one that does a lot of live streams, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's been on with Artie a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm loving his new movie series where he interjects himself into movie scenes.
For TV. The Airwolf one was my favorite so far.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
I used to love that show.
Yeah, it just takes the different TV and movie science and tears it apart for the BS that it was.
Oh, that's what he does. I was thinking it was like binary. You'll recognize it, like the Hardware Wars, where they. Have you heard of that one, Hank?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking that you were describing a Hardware Wars situation.
Well, he basically is. He's making fun of it at the same time, but he's also talking, breaks it down to real world.
Yeah.
Like, this situation is not going to work, and he's really intelligent and really breaks it down for you.
Has he done Knight Rider?
No,
not yet.
He should. I love that series. I really do. Well, and what's his name was hot in the day.
He's only done a few shows on it so far, but hopefully he continues. I laugh my ass off, and they're not that long, so
yeah.
I mean, watching his live streams, some of them go on for hours.
Well,
Yeah.
he does his research too, because he used to be he's a private investigator, and he also used to be in the army. I think it was. He
Yes,
was
he was
military police.
Army. I think he was MPI, which is military police investigator.
Yeah, another thing I really respect about him is he's really intelligent and very articulate, like Kick is, and he gets the point across. And yeah, I like him a lot. He's really cool.
And he can break it down into terms laymen can understand.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to give him another look.
And yet he doesn't he doesn't explain it like, makes you feel stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't talk over you, which is how I am when I was on the help desk. I would boil things down to terms that people would remember. Like a desktop versus RAM. A desktop is where you would keep things you use constantly. Oh no, excuse me. RAM versus hard drive. RAM is what you'd use constantly: your stapler, your tape dispenser, your paper clips. The hard drive is where you would keep your files for this contract or that person that you would only need to use now and again.
Yeah. Well, Blue Bacon, he's done cop watching or not watchdog work with some of the frauditors. But he breaks things. He doesn't just attack them as, oh, they're wrong, and this is what makes it wrong. But he also you're messing up and doing this wrong this way. But if you want to accomplish this is how you could do it.
Yeah, he does a legitimate, review.
Uh-huh.
The way you would review, the quality of a piece of electronic equipment or a carpenter tool.
Yeah.
Which is really pretty cool. It would be interesting if he would do the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman. That would be hysterical.
Excuse me.
God, I love those series. There's only 2 of them left now, just the actual bionic people.
Lindsay Wager is still alive?
Yeah, Lindsay is still alive and Lee is still alive. But Richard Anderson, who played Oscar Goldman, and Martin E. Brooks, who played Rudy Wells, both passed away in their 90s within a year of each other.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, I used to be quite active in the bionic community when they had a Yahoo group. In fact, there's a guy there's 2 guys that I know that I've spoken with that were involved with the actual series. One is the guy that created the Bionic Woman character. He started out working on the $6 Million Man series. His name was Kenny Johnson, or Kenneth Johnson, he goes by. And I've spoken to him on a couple of occasions. Really nice guy. He also created the Incredible Hulk series.
The original one with Bill Bixby?
Yeah.
And Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I've spoken with that gentleman because he's part of that community. And there's a guy named Matt Hankinson that was also involved in some respect on both series.
Cool.
So, quite interesting people to talk to and quite knowledgeable. And Lee and Lindsay still do conventions.
Really?
Yep, they still do conventions.
Awesome.
For anybody who's in chat that I haven't said welcome to yet, welcome everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying. It is an open panel. The link's pinned at the top. So if you want to come and join in on the talk, feel free. If you want to bring up a whole different subject, it's.
By the way, I just want to go back to one thing you were talking about, a Mustang. It brought to mind a really funny story. Friend of mine had a friend that got a Mustang, and they were going over all the different features of the car, and they opened up the trunk, and there was this lever that said pull and run. And they're not these two were not the swiftest tools in the toolbox. So they were pulling it and running, and they couldn't understand what was.
Bye, brother Archangel. Take care and stay safe.
Bye, Archangel.
Hey, Archangel.
So they're pulling it and running, not knowing what it's supposed to be doing. And then they realized it's for if you're carjacked and stuffed in your own trunk. I mean, it took them like 5 or 6 times of doing that till they finally realized it. Oh, you can't make these things up.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, that happens a lot in Mexico.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, I have to get going. I have to call my brother back because he called me. We do a once a day 5-minute call to each other to make sure we're still alive.
Yeah.
So I have to call him back, and I got some other things to do. So, Hank,
Okay.
this was wonderful. Thank you for having me up. I really appreciate it. Binary, I will catch you on your channel, and I will catch you in chat.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, same with you, and I'm glad you're doing well.
Oh, thank you very much. I
And
appreciate
Reaper,
that.
I don't know if you're still lurking or not, but it was very nice to meet you. So I will catch up with you guys another time.
All right. Thanks
All right.
for coming up.
Take care.
Take
and stay
care.
safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We've been going. It's getting close to 3 hours now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up.
All righty.
Well,
I appreciate you having me.
Great having you up. Been a fan of your work for a while.
Well, thank you, sir. I've always enjoyed watching you in chats.
Thank you. One of these days, like to work with you on trying to get. I want to do an intro for the chillin' chat, and I want to do a different intro for videos.
All right, that sounds good. I would also like to express to the entire community my heartfelt thanks for everybody who supported me when I was in the hospital. You guys will never know how much that meant to me and how it got me through a really rough time period in my life. I just want to thank you all for all the support. Thank you. Excuse me.
Problem. Take your time. Is there anything else you want to put out?
Oh yeah. I just recently hit 800 subscribers. Woohoo! And
I meant to say something about that too.
It's all good. I just finished up doing my new Mystery Science Theater 3000 marathon that will be this Saturday.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I can make it this time.
It's like I was explaining to you on the phone last night that I had to upload it onto YouTube to see what was copyrighted and what wasn't, and what was being blocked and what wasn't. So I got it figured out. I woke up this morning for my upload, and I got it all figured out, and I will be featuring it on Saturday. I hope you guys can stop in and say hi.
All right. I'm looking forward to that, and thanks again for coming up, letting us pick your brain.
Thank you.
Things and great conversations.
Except for you, Reaper. I'm just
He's
playing.
never that talkative. He comes in with a punch here and there and adds to
I know.
conversations.
He's a nice guy. I like him.
Yes, he is.
Teasing.
For those of you who enjoyed my recent video on Sesame Street, I'm already working on episode 2.
Oh, dude, that was awesome. I
Thank
loved your editing in that.
I'm planning on doing the same thing, but this time I'm going to use the count.
Oh, yes.
I've been working with someone on the side to come up with a parody of their Sunny Days Sesame Street theme song.
Awesome.
So,
I really loved that bit at the end when Kermit was brought to you
Yep.
by the letters F and U.
Yep. And Kick and I already mulled around the Kick's the one that did the Kermit voice.
Nice.
So we've already mulled around, and we think we know what we want for the next one's end. But I think there's a lot we can do with the Sesame Street based learning first. I can use it for not just the cop watchers. I can do it for the flat earthers and.
Oh, absolutely. Have the Sesame Street gang educating again.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of you, but I grew up on Sesame Street.
I think most of our generation did.
Uh-huh.
And it's still a viable show today.
It is. And I also grew up on Electric Company, in which I did not know it at the time, but the great Morgan Freeman came from that show.
I didn't realize that either.
I didn't know who he was as a kid, but yeah, he became who he is, the man, the legend.
Yeah. I can't remember which it was. They played him. The TV station I got it off, they played them back to back. I couldn't remember which was first and which was second, but
here in Seattle, it was Channel 9, PBS Channel 9.
Mm-hmm.
It was our public access, local public access show. And when I was a teenager, we had a local access show called Late Night, I think it was. And it featured a young Bill Nye the Science Guy. He got his start right here in Seattle.
The morning show that also got a lot of my attention as a kid was Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, yes.
And Mr. Rogers, of course.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack us.
Yeah.
I'll let people go.
Oh.
When you're having fun, you know.
Yep. But thanks again for showing up and being a part of the show. Everybody in the chat, thanks a million. If y'all weren't showing up and supporting, we wouldn't have a show. And right. for my mods, y'all make my job so much easier when I don't have to obsess over the chat to make sure people are playing nice and that links are going out.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I love all you guys in chat and women, especially you, Lavender.
Yep. And
thank you, Hank. I appreciate you.
Yep. And I will edit I'll edit the stream to add the links to all the videos the ones we did show and the ones we were going to show for you, so people can go back and watch them. And I'm also going to add the link for Wonder Woman's Discord, if anybody's interested.
Well, if you want, you can save some time and just link to the playlist. It'll give people the list.
Okay. And
thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I had fun.
Your main channel YouTube or channel link is already in the description. So.
Okay.
Hopefully, we
All
get
right.
some
Thanks, everybody.
way.
I hope you all have a good day and take care and stay safe. See y'all later.
All right. And everybody have a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day to have one. Goodbye.